Well, hello, my beautiful Sagittarians. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with a little bonus reading all about you. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pertain to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I will be using guide chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound. So let us start your reading and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Sagittarians, this is a little bonus reading all about you. Us tarot readers, we tend to focus on career, money, love, but we never ask how are you doing. So this reading is going to tap into what you're moving through at this moment in time and of course what lies on the other side. Now, this reading tends to be quite specific, so it may not resonate for everyone. Take what resonates with you and of course leave the rest behind. But let's get straight to it. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Sagittarians? What do they need to know right now? What are they going through? And how are they moving through this time period? What lies on the other side for them? Can you please highlight the way? Oh. So we have the one who is present. Okay, so a lot of you may have felt like you've been trying to come back to your center, to ground yourself this year in and amongst monumental change. Now, we will get to that card in a moment, but I feel like you're becoming very aware of your body's needs. You're deep in thought, doing a bit of soul searching there, and accepting things for how they are right now so that you can actually transform those things in the new year. Now, this year, of course, was the year of the snake, which is all about transformation, shedding old skin, letting go of things. It's been a pretty challenging year when it comes to decluttering your space. Now, this can be your social circle, can be your work events. If you're not working at the moment, it can be that you're sorting things out in your mind, really releasing things, letting go in order to rebirth. Now, of course, next year is all about the horse. So this is about advancement, movement forward. It's also about freedom and independence. So a lot of you have been taking stock this year and really deep in thought about where you feel like you are right now and how things have gone down, how you're closing out the year and preparing for the next period ahead for you. Now, of course, a lot of you may have been trying to be more mindful this year. Things like meditation may have called to you, journaling, a lot more stillness in your life. Doesn't mean you're not busy. I definitely see that you are very busy doing a lot of things. Look, your first card on your Celtic cross there is the Judgment card. So you're assessing, maybe even reassessing, and you're evaluating where you feel like you are right now. Look at that, Ace of Swords. Yeah, you're in the middle of a transition. There is something new here birthing for you. Swords are all about the mind. You're deep in thought. The Eight of Swords is on your earthly plane position. And I did mention right at the beginning there that I just feel like there's this stillness for you. Now, stillness can sometimes be misconstrued, okay? Sometimes we're put on pause on purpose. As I said, you've definitely been very busy, but a lot of you may have felt like you're still somehow in the same place, or you feel a little bit stuck in a rut. But this pause was to help you reflect on how you're going to advance for the year ahead, and to see where you've been feeling stuck, certain areas, so you can break free and liberate yourself. The pause is always so purposeful, so it helps you become present. Eight of Swords, the person, if you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, the figure is standing in and amongst swords. Now, they are blindfold, so that means they're paying more attention to their intuition. They are tapping inwards. They're becoming present and connected to their higher self. And of course, all the swords are pointed down. That means there's no threat. It basically means that, you know, there is an opportunity to really reflect. Now, the history of that card, the figure can literally unbind themselves. They're not completely stuck, but they needed to take a pause or become very still in order to hear the whisperings of their heart and their higher consciousness. And I feel like you've been going through that a lot over the last couple of years, especially this year. I feel the whisper has got louder, that things in your life need to change in some way. And of course, there's moments, pockets of happiness, fulfillment, but there's something of a missing ingredient here looking at the energy. And I feel like, yeah, you're going to find it. We've got the King of Cups there in your near future, but there's so many swords coming out in your reading right now. You're deep in thought, you're analyzing. And of course, you have a lot on your mind. And, you know, there may be some worries there that you've been checking in with in order to bring them into perspective so you can conquer something. But also, I feel like you're just reassessing life in general and circumstances. And the Judgment card tells me that you're reaching for something more. And in order to do that, there's a lot of shedding, a letting go. Now, this clearing of space is actually for something new to come on in. Okay, so often, how would you like to receive? Okay, so we have the Knave of Pentacles there, and we have the Four of Wands. There's going to be much celebration thrust upon you, lots to celebrate in your future for sure, and everything is going to come together as planned. So it does feel like you've been in the middle of a gear shift. That's why there's so much change and transition there. And I feel some of you, there may have been some changes in your home life, and I feel some of you could be working up to that again, because I feel like there could be something here where there is some change in your home space, or for some of you where you live. Doesn't have to be though, but I feel a lot of you have witnessed distance in friendships or an evolution there that you've been a little bit concerned about at first, but recognize it's time to let go of any false narratives, or, you know, if you've always given someone the benefit of the doubt, but you're starting to recognize that actually they know what they're doing, and if they're pushing your buttons or disrespecting you or overstepping a mark, I feel like you're distancing yourself, cutting them out, like not even having a conversation with some of you, because I feel like you've been there, done that, and you've given enough opportunity, so it's time to leave. So I feel there has been a lot of severing ties going on this year. And sometimes that can feel really isolating and discombobulating, but it's because you're creating space for new people to come on in, for new experiences, for new opportunities, and new cause for celebration. How would you like to receive? Look, you've got that Five of Pentacles there. We've got the Six of Cups, and we've also got the Four of Cups there. So very nostalgic time for you. A lot of you have been, you know, dissecting the past in order to strengthen your present moment, because it always comes back to the present moment, so that you can forge a stronger future there as well. And there's something really nice coming on in here that is going to excite you with that Four of Cups. I feel a lot of you have been trying to make sure that you're not bored. Okay, because boredom for a Sagittarian is the worst. Now, you're trying to remove yourself from drama, of course, especially other people's drama there. But I feel a lot of you could be feeling your way through past situations in order to embrace new right now. And your first card, as I mentioned there, is the now, the present moment. And it says here, of course, the one who is present, Taraz. Now, awareness and acceptance. So a lot of you could have been thinking about something from your past, or something that you've been living through over the past couple of years or months. You know, there is this dissecting going on. And this could be something very personal to you. It doesn't have to be about anything outside of yourself. It can be completely about your sense of purpose right now, that spark, that je ne sais quoi that gets you excited and out of bed in the morning. A lot of you have been very deep in thought, and I'm getting a couple of things here. There may have been some issues with sleeping patterns over the last year or so for some of you, and also this sense of not disassociation, because I feel like you're a very passionate person, but the more still you've become, it's almost like you've become more analytical, and it feels like you're conquering some emotions here. You know, it's very important to recognize that emotions are our personal GPS system. You know, we gauge how we feel about things, people, circumstances, and when it feels good, we're on the right track. And when it feels not so good, we know it's time to reassess. So something in your life right now may have asked you to reassess and check in with your GPS destination point. Because, of course, Even the most sophisticated GPS systems in the world, they can't take you anywhere unless you know the destination. So you got to like pin in that destination point, and the judgment energy is asking you in life in general, what is it you desire? What do you want? Because you can have it. The judgment card asks you to reach for something that feels like a sense of purpose, that makes you feel excited. But I feel a lot of you have been analyzing recently, and there is a renewal going on in your life right now, which is really exciting, but you are in the midst of it. And sometimes, as I said, that can feel a little bit disorientating, or it can, make you feel a little bit like you're in examination mode. It almost feels like you're doing like a CSI on your life right now, where you're like, so that happened and they said that. Now, if I piece that together, what does that mean? Does that mean that person gets to stay in my life, or do I cut that person out? Okay, so that opportunity came here, and how is it connected to my future? I'm loving that. I'm going to make that connection, and I'm going to put it on my board. It just feels like you're in a mode where you're just working things out, calculating things right now. And when we calculate, especially if you've been doing it over the past year, you've been kind of like gauging your emotions on it, but not allowing your emotions to overwhelm you. There's a very logical process going on here for you. And because you are someone who is very passionate, very fiery, it may have caught you off guard this year a little bit, where you just feel a little bit like, again, I don't want to say like disassociated or numb, because I feel it's not that. I just feel like you're like super aware and observant. You're like watching people, watching scenarios, watching the world, watching everything, and going, how does that apply to me and what's going on in my world right now? So this judgment energy, I feel like you're weighing up your options for some sort of new beginning or new way of life, or I feel like you're assessing things. I would just also say, you need to be less critical of yourself and a little bit more compassionate. You tend to have super high standards, which is wonderful. It means you're erecting healthier boundaries so that people do not take advantage of your energy, your time, but just be a little bit mindful of how you talk to yourself, okay? Because some of you, there is this energy of being super critical upon yourself because you have a Five of Swords. Now, the Five of Swords is your presiding energy. You're outgrowing parts of yourself as well. So I feel a lot of you have been experiencing growing pains, even if like you love certain aspects of your life, you're taking that part with you, but you've been outgrowing something or someone or an environment, or I feel part of yourself. It's like a new chapter requires a new version of you. And I feel a lot of you, because you have swords here, I feel this is about you learning to communicate your needs from a healthy space in order to have your needs met. Swords are also not just communication, but thoughts. And I feel because the Ace of Swords is in the resistance position as well, you have to read both. Something hasn't been fair. Something hasn't been right. And you may have had a lot of stress or a lot of mental anxiety recently. And this could be triggered by like world events or, your thoughts about the future, or something personal, or people around you triggering you in some way. And I feel like you're just working out like, what am I accepting here? What am I tolerating? What do I no longer want to accept? And how do I voice my opinion to make it right? How do I take action to make it right? And of course, the swords are all about cutting things out. And this is an Ace of Swords. And I feel a lot of you may have been sitting on a fence when it comes to cutting something or somebody out. You've been just watching it or watching them, just observing or judging the situation so that you can have clarity and understand what is the next part of your journey or the next steps, okay? Now, of course, the Ace of Swords can also indicate in this position, because it is the crossing position, that you feel someone has been, untrue in some way, or a little bit loose with the truth, or someone has been omitting information, or even playing power games, like telling you something in order to find out information from you, or, prying into your private life in some way, or just hiding something. And this could be something that's on the global stage, of course, or it could be something that is connected to you locally. It could be someone at work if you're in a career. It could be a neighbor. It could also be a landlord, or it could be a friend, a frenemy, for example. And a lot of you, there's this energy of you kind of like speaking your truth. You're very authentic. You're blunt. I love Sagittarians because I'm a Scorpio and I love it because having a conversation with a Sagittarian is so refreshing because you tell it how it is. And I always say personally that I would rather be hurt by the truth than comforted by a lie. So I feel, when I get together with Sagittarians, there is a freshness, an authenticity. I know where I'm at with a Sagittarian, and I really respect that. But you may have had people in your life right now or recently that perhaps you've been very nostalgic about. It doesn't have to be recently because you have that Six of Cups there, which can indicate that you're dissecting emotions from the past, working out, what really went down. I mean, some of you may actually be looking at people that you trusted and the dynamics have shifted and you're trying to work out, well, when did that happen? How have they changed? Have I changed? I feel everybody has changed, of course, over the last couple of years, but it's in order to get things right and settled or in alignment. And I feel like you have been doing a lot of alignment processes because you have that, present card. You're becoming aware of something that doesn't fit right now in your life. And this could be a person, as I said, or a neighborhood. Something doesn't fit. And also there is a small portion of energy coming out as well. A lot of you, you're definitely trying to get like new ideas or get clarity. You have had a lot of stress and strain on you. You've been holding it all together and pushing on through. I mean, Five of Swords tells me a lot of mental pressure. Okay. And I feel that a lot of you are trying to, especially with that Eight of Swords, work out where the limitation has been in your life or what is the blockage so you can set yourself free. But I am getting, as I said, a small portion of energy here where some of you may be worried about some sort of procedure, and this is only if you've come to the reading, because the Ace of Swords can be like an operation or a procedure that perhaps, hasn't occurred yet or is just in talks right now. So if that's you, of course, there's worry about it because you care and it's to do with you. But looking at the King of Cups, you have someone who's very sympathetic, who knows what they're doing. Six of Cups can indicate that there are repeat kind of interactions as you heal. For example, you've got the Four of Cups there, so it can indicate that you're offered something that will continue to help you in that process, or you're looking at the alternative if you don't want to have a procedure, for example. And looking at the energy, I mean, the Four of Wands there tells me celebration. And of course, the Knave of Pentacles indicates that, there may be something offered to you as a prescription as well to help you in some shape or form. But the Knight of Swords, if you have been waiting for a procedure or you've been waiting to get a letter so that you can advance and, have that operation, I feel like you're going to get it quite soon. And that's going to trigger, of course, anxiety if you haven't got it already. But I'm looking at the energy, and with that Five of Pentacles energy, it tells me of worry, okay? But the Six of Cups and the Four of Cups, it indicates, yes, you may be out of action for a little while, maybe a little bit bored. That's why I say, Sagittarians, they hate boredom. They like to be up and on the go. So get yourself a good book or, download the latest TV series because you may be out of action for a little bit, but you're going to be healing and, back to best. So with a lot of love and respect, I'm going to remove myself from that energy. But I feel for a lot of you with the Judgment card and the Ace of Swords, and this is just like your inner GPS system. You feel right now something doesn't sit right with you and something is amiss or something is off and you're trying to work out what it is. Okay. And I'm not talking about inside your body. I'm talking about your gut instinct. So whether that's you kind of like looking at a world that feels like it's upside down, or it feels like it's different in some way, it's shifted and you're not happy with the shift, or you feel like people are off or something's off. Okay. I got to tell you how it is in the reading and in the energy that's coming out and what the cards mean. This is certainly not going to resonate with all of you, but I feel a lot of you, especially this year, you've been sitting with something that just doesn't feel right and you're trying to work it out. You're connecting to your higher self even further. This kind of sense of things being just a little bit like out of kilter or out of sync has really made you become present so that you can become aware. That's why I kind of like the Eight of Swords in this position with this card, because it means you've had an opportunity to really connect and develop your spiritual gifts or your knowingness. 8 is the number of the self. And of course, Eight of Swords is an energy of releasing yourself from denial on something. Sometimes we can actually, go on a certain path and, we're always on the go, never enough time to think. And suddenly you have a bit of a wake up call and be like, oh, you know what? I don't like this anymore, or it doesn't feel good, because your judgment is your wake-up call, okay? It can be a rude awakening for some of you, but I feel right now you're focused on what is right for you, and I feel like you're liberating yourself out of a very stuck situation. Now, life tends to get pretty serious when you have so many swords. It can be that you're in your head about things, or it can also indicate that you have a lot to do and it just feels like there's never enough time for you. And you've been leaning into family or friendships that you feel are rewarding at this time. And some of you have been searching for your soul tribe. If you felt alienated or isolated in some way, I definitely hear from my guides that you are going to integrate with a group of people that really respect you, that get you, that you have a lot of fun with. I feel deep down, you're like, you know what? Why is it so hard? I feel you just want to like let loose, have fun, enjoy yourself, have an adventure, be with the people you care about, and just, do life. It doesn't have to be this hard, but a lot of you are wondering why it has to be this hard. Well, this year has been very challenging because it is the year of the snake. If you think about the nature of the snake, it transforms, it sheds its skin, which is a long, lengthy process, and of course is renewed. And you have that judgment card energy, which is a rebirth. So you have been outgrowing things that you once knew that made you now feel stuck. I mean, this can transpire in food substances as well. You may have noticed that things you used to love just don't taste right anymore, or you're avoiding them now because they hit different. You may notice that hobbies or environments are not something that you enjoy anymore. And we've got that Knight of Swords. It is in the past position. So this tells me there's been some major lifestyle change that has been thrust upon you in some way, or has made you adapt to change. And it was pretty quick. So a lot of you are now having the opportunity to dissect it and really work out what it means for you. And of course, you're responding differently to people who, are loose with the truth, or if they don't resonate with you, or if you feel like they are disrespecting you, or, overstepping a mark or a boundary there. I feel like you are a little bit more kind of like abrupt. Now, it's not that you weren't abrupt and honest before, but I feel like diplomacy has been something that you've been perhaps working on, but I feel there's this energy of like, you know what, actually I'm fed up now. Enough. So you're drawing a lot of lines in the sand with that Ace of Swords. Now, the Knight of Swords can also be an energy of some quick movement. So I feel a lot of you have had to change quite drastically, and maybe there's been many times where there's been a flurry of activity and just you're always on the go and it just feels like you can't catch your breath. Well, there is an energy here of you kind of like wanting to wind down the pace a little bit more in order to have fun. Perhaps some of you have been booking events or trying to book family events or be with people that you really resonate with, or connect to some sort of harmonious, artistic, creative environments where people are really open, accepting, and just like to have fun. So I feel with that Four of Wands, definitely there's some sort of personal celebration going on here because you are evolving, but I also feel like this is about you finding places that resonate, that feel like home. I mean, a lot of you, especially if you're transforming and things that perhaps hit different now, you're trying to find a part of yourself that perhaps you feel like either you've lost touch with or that you're outgrowing because you're becoming, and you're like, well, where do I fit in? Okay, because swords are very distant and you have so many of them here. So some of you may have always felt like you're that old soul on the outside looking in, that somehow you don't fit, but actually you were born to stand out. That's the message here. Sometimes, if you think about the world that we've built right now, and I'm talking about like society, I'm not talking about us in general, but, society has built a world where they kind of want like commodity or everything being the same. It's so refreshing that you were born to stand out and set yourself apart in some way, be a trailblazer. So whatever you're doing, you're a maverick, you always have been, and that has come at a cost, at sometimes feeling like you don't fit into certain circles. But there is a famous saying, I think it's from, oh my gosh, I'm seeing the person's face right now, but I'm probably wrong. I'm not seeing anything in the water. I want you to be aware of that. This is my memory now. Oh my gosh. Oscar Wilde. I'm going to hazard a guess that perhaps he said this, okay? And it was, I think it's more like and it's not a direct quote, okay? Because I'm just being given this right now in my memory, okay? Not from my guides. It's like, I don't want to be part of any group that will have me. So I feel like you're kind of like, yeah, if people are willing to welcome me in so much, or they're, begging me to join a group, or they're, trying to tempt me into a group, I don't want to be part of that. I want to be part of the group that is really challenging to get into, or that is very discerning about the people who frequent. So I feel like you've kind of set yourself apart. Okay, so I'm only mentioning that because of the swords. And again, this may not resonate with all of you, but that's something that's coming through. Now, the Five of Swords tells me, especially in a presiding position, that there's always going to be something to worry about. And if there's something you can do about it and take action with it to change it, then you can do that. But if you can't, there's no point in worrying about it, because of course, that will be energy that could be spent elsewhere. I don't see anything to worry about in your future. Of course, some of you with that Five of Pentacles, you're worried about finances. And the Six of Cups tells me that something from your past will actually bring money into your present. And there's also an alternative form of abundance being sent to you. So I see two things regarding finances to a lot of you. One is you have a creative talent that has lain dormant, is hidden, that you can tap into and make a lot of money. But also for some of you, there's something that you have attracted via kind of manifestation there that isn't in your life yet, but is to come. It feels like somehow it's attached to your past. So I can't think what that could be, but I mean, maybe a tax rebate for some of you, or it could be, a project that you did many years ago may yield some more financial results, or it could be someone from your past offering you an opportunity that's too good to miss. I'm not sure, this is not a money reading, but I'm just mentioning it because if some of you are worried about something here, I feel like you're going to be good. The universe is taking care of you, okay? But also, I feel like you're taking necessary steps to take care of yourself also. Now, the Five of Swords is interesting because if you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, and I always reference that because pictorially it gives more of an indication of what the card means. And the Five of Swords sees a person who, is gathering up some swords. And of course, they have some swords laying on the ground as well. And there's two figures in the background of that card. Now, my guides asked me to reimagine it, and I actually came across some information that highlighted that this card can be about outgrowing yourself, okay, and moving to a next stage of yourself. So if you look at the figures in the background, some of those figures are in despair. So it can be that, experiences that have hurt you or challenged you help you evolve. And you've been through some challenge. So I feel a lot of you are like leveling up or upgrading your life. It doesn't feel like it right now, but you are turning a page or a corner in your life, and things will get infinitely better because we've got that King of Chalices there, which is the King of Cups. That's in your near future. So that's about your heart space opening. It means you feel fulfilled. It also indicates that you have a good measure on your emotions. You're not allowing your emotions to conquer you. You are working in collaboration with your emotions to help you feel fulfilled, but also to connect to your higher wisdom. And I feel that this is about you reigniting your spark or romancing your life a little bit more in order to do more things that you love and be more emotionally available. And also, if you are someone who has actually had a relationship where perhaps it has broken down or has broken your heart and you're trying to heal from that, this could have changed the way that you approach love in general. Doesn't mean you want to be with a past person. It can indicate that the experience transformed you. It completely changed you and made you feel like you need to keep love at arm's length because you're healing your heart, or you didn't want to repeat a cycle with even a different person. The way that you love may have changed, but I feel that you're opening up to love, and there is a person who is going to make you feel secure in a relationship, and it's passionate, it's kind, You'll settle down with this person. Now, this is, of course, outside of yourself, kind of love energy, but you will be loved again. Love has not given up on you, and I feel like you have not given up on love. If you really deep down think about it, I feel like you are about to meet your soulmate. It's not too far away. So I'm going to leave that there with a lot of love and respect. But the King of Chalices, now, for some of you, this could be a person in your life, okay? Could be someone with Scorpio placements there. Perhaps there's an important conversation you need to have with that person, or perhaps you've been judging a situation and you've got some ideas on how to advance things or how to correct things, or perhaps this is an important conversation that helps the person understand how you're feeling about something. It doesn't have to be a Scorpio. It could be someone with a water element, Pisces, Cancer, but also it doesn't have to be any of those things. It can be that there's a person you really care about and you're just worried that perhaps there is a misalignment or a misunderstanding there, or you want to perhaps speak your truth on something there. You will find a resolution, and I feel the respect is there, that you were honest and open and called it out or said what you needed to do. So some of you, it can be about your present, experience. So if there's something that needs to change in your present moment, I feel like articulating it is important, and there will be understanding, because this card is all about understanding. But I feel more than anything, this is about you leaning into your heart space. You're very charismatic. This is about you kind of going from this almost like fight or flight mode with your nerves. For some of you with that Five of Swords, it can indicate that there's been a lot of worry, or you've been anxious about some of the changes going on in the world or in your personal circumstances. And now I feel there's an energy of you feeling more secure or loving the changes. This is a card also of breaking open your intuitive field. So a lot of you, if you've had problems with connecting to your higher self or meditating or manifesting or even like vision work, seeing what it is that you want, I feel like you're going to open your third eye chakra even further, to the point where you see visions and connect to your higher self and call it in, whatever it is that you want to call in there. But I feel the King of Chalices indicates a softening here. Okay, because there's so many swords, it indicates a lot of you, as you understand yourself a little bit more, dissect all the situation, I feel like you're softening as you go into 2026. It's because you don't need to have to constantly wear that suit of armor or be worried for the next thing to come on in. I feel you're secure, and I feel there's this energy of going, you know what, I accept. I am open. And that's going to really help you as you thrive in 2026. Now, your advice to yourself in this moment is the Knave of Pentacles. So this is an energy of maybe learning more about yourself, learning about, your triggers, your go-to thoughts, especially in moments of challenge or worry. This can also be an energy of you being committed to, yes, your projects, but also the people around you. I feel a lot of you have given so much of yourself to the people around you that perhaps this is more of an independent energy coming through right now. You can have balance between the two, but I feel for some of you, this could be that there is a desire to do something that perhaps is for you, a little something to give back to yourself, and you don't like to let people down, okay? So sometimes you may kind of like put others' needs before your own and kind of sacrifice in some way. And I feel like you can do both. You can honor yourself as well as others' needs. So I feel like you're learning to find that balance there. But the Page of Pentacles essentially is you being very practical right now. I feel like you got a lot to do right now. I feel a lot of you want to actually embrace some sort of new information or knowledge, but also I feel this is an energy of like wanting to source new things that, really either help you be successful or help you connect to a dream or a sense of purpose. There's something about a plan here, okay? This card is actually about your blueprints, your plans, and I feel like you're revisiting some plans right now. And it doesn't mean you're not going to get to where you want to go, because of course you are. But I feel the universe may send you an opportunity to be closer to your dream than ever before. And it may look differently at first to the way that you imagined it to be, but actually it turns out better. It feels like you get it all and then some, whatever that is for you, okay? But some of you may be called to journal. Words and writing are your forte, okay? You have so many swords here. You could write a book on your experiences. You could write a manual of how you've been doing life and, swerving all the curveballs and trying really hard to stay on top of things. You could actually impart your wisdom to others. So some of you may be trying to learn a practice that helps others in some way, or you've had that calling recently, or you've been called to journal, write it down, or just understand more about yourself, your situation. Page of Pentacles is an energy of being worthy of more. You give so much of yourself, and I feel this is about you taking accountability of your life, being responsible for your happiness, and recognizing that you're not responsible for everyone else's happiness. It's nice to thrive in the energy where you're all enjoying yourself, but sometimes some people are never going to be happy no matter what you do. You could give them the world and still they'd grumble about it. So this is about coming back to your center and acknowledging that when you give yourself permission to make yourself happy, not from an egotistical or selfish place, but when you give back to yourself, then the energy shifts. When you shine, you give other people permission to shine. When your cup is full, you give other people permission to accept that they need to fill their own cup, or if there is something overflowing within you, you can share it with others because you do have a share card right there. So I feel a lot of you want to share more about yourself and your thoughts and your emotions with others in 2026, but also you need it to be reciprocal because 6 is all about balance. Now also, this is a card that indicates new opportunities to be more sociable because you may have felt that life got pretty serious. There's a lot of responsibility on your shoulders, a lot of new things that you've had to make an effort with. And with that 4 of Wands, you're like, I want to get out there, let my hair down, live a little. So I do see opportunities popping up there for you to book things in your diary, to get out, connect to like-minded individuals. Music is really going to change your mood. Being more active is important as well. But I feel this is a very creative phase that's going to be thrust upon you. So you may have been called to do more artistic things or try out kind of like courses or try out something that makes you feel like you're giving something of yourself into it. So for example, I'm not saying everyone's going to go out there and paint, but something that comes from you, your sense of expression, because I feel a lot of your cards are about expressing yourself. Even if you like fixing like old cars, it can be this is an expression of you, that you like to take care of historical, products, or you like to take care of something that needs a little fixing. It's still something from you. And it can be that, you're going to put all your time and your energy into something that really excites you there. But the 4 of Wands is in the position where circumstances outside of yourself, there's going to be something to celebrate here. And the 4 of Wands is an energy of like coming home to self, but also achieving something that changes your situation forever, I would say, looking at your cards, because there is an energy with that 6 of Cups of looking back, but only looking back to remember how far you've come, how hard it was, and how fulfilled you are going forward, because your 4 of Cups there is you turning disappointment or disenchantment into expectation and celebration and feeling fulfilled. So I'm quite excited about that there. Now with the Queen of Pentacles, it is in your hope and fear position. It is about money, security. A lot of you are someone who really cares about the security of your family and the people who are closest to you. That matters most. And I feel you are going to be secure looking at the energy. And of course, if there's ever a moment where someone needs something, I feel like you would share. Okay, so whether that's with your family or whether it's a friend, you always extend a kindness because of who you are, and the energy will give, some sort of good karma right back to you regarding that as well. Now, the hope for a lot of you with that Queen of Pentacles, because it is in the upright position in this particular position in the spread, you do read this one in the reverse as well, so that's a fear. So I would say your hope is to multiply your wealth or compound on your wealth, secure your future, save for your future, make sure you have enough money, security, maybe even purchase a home for some of you, but it's all about feeling secure and safe in your circumstances. And of course, the worry is to feel unsafe or to feel like you don't have enough money, or If you have financial dependence, it can be that you worry about never having enough or, having to go the extra mile, and the pressure is upon you. But you will always have more than enough. I feel like you're the sort of person that if there is a problem, you would set it straight away. So with that Five of Pentacles, it tells me that there is always going to be worry about something. Okay, but a lot of you have untapped talent that you will tap into and make extra money, because I feel a lot of you are moving towards like multiplying wealth there. But also I feel this is a card of feeling comfortable. And, for Sagittarian, it's good to feel comfortable, right? For everybody, it's good to feel comfortable. But when does that comfortability turn into feeling a little bit stuck? Okay, so for example, and I'm just giving you this as an example, right? Society kind of tells us that it's really great to go out there, build the dream of something that you have a purpose for, you make money from that, you get a home or a property, whether you get a mortgage or not, that's your prerogative, of course, but you get that sort of little box of contentment where you can feel safe and secure in your home, and a lot of your money goes to that, whether it's a mortgage or whether it is, rent, for example. And then, of course, that will confine some of your freedom, because, of course, money is freedom to some degree. So it can be that it's nice because you've got that comfort. Now, it's all sparkly and new at the beginning, but cut to about 3 or 4 years later, you're like, oh, okay, you know what? I'd like to do something different. I want something a little bit fresh. I want to keep things moving forward. You're that sort of person. You need that sort of stimulus, or you need something that excites you. So I feel a lot of you, comfort is nice, but you need something more, because you need to stave off boredom. And I feel that this is you like buying into routine and acknowledging that sometimes structure and routine is good because it keeps you level and it keeps you moving forward, but you need something a little bit extra. And I feel with that Five of Pentacles, for a lot of you, this is a missing ingredient card. I always kind of get an energy from this card, no matter what deck I'm using, and my guides give this to me. For some of you, this could be like you literally have like a missing ingredient in your body, a vitamin deficiency or some sort of mineral deficiency that you will get on top of. If you've been feeling low energy, or if you felt brain fog or extra anxiety, it could be something that is missing that needs, balance. Now, also, with this Five of Pentacles energy, I feel like you will find that a lot of you, water is important there as well. Now, I do have to just take a pause from this reading, because my guides just indicated that the candle has gone out and I have to read by the light. I don't like to read without the light, okay? So it's a vibrational thing. So I'm just going to go and get a candle replenished there for you. And maybe that's symbolic. A lot of you are like exhausted. Okay, or you feel that your spirits have been dampened, or that spark, that magic has been missing. Well, you're about to discover it. So I'm just going to go get the candle. So one moment, please. Sorry about that, my beautiful Sagittarians. The candle is now lit, so I can continue there. Now, I definitely feel it's symbolic, because when I tried to light the candle again, the match just wouldn't light. Okay, so I feel a lot of you, it's been hard to remain inspired, even if you love what you do. It's just been hard. The energy's just been heavy this year. And I feel a lot of you, this could be a hormonal imbalance or a vitamin or mineral deficiency there. But a lot of you will find a compassionate person who knows their stuff and will get you back into alignment there, because I feel a lot of you, this is all about alignment. But the Five of Pentacles can indicate a lot of you feel unappreciated, or that you go unnoticed, or you're completely overlooked. But I feel that for some of you, there is, of course, some sort of appreciation coming on in. Now, this could be from someone who's close to you, but also I feel someone from your past is going to reach out, because they've been thinking about you a lot and they miss you in their life. And I feel you've thought about this person a lot. There's actually a connection between you and this person. I feel like life just got in the way, but they're going to find a way to get in touch with you. And I feel that it's a welcome surprise in your life. So that's something that's coming through there as well. But the Six of Cups, I love the Six of Cups, because it basically means that the universe wants to send you a gift, has been giving you a message that something needs to change. And in order to feel fulfilled, you've set those changes in motion, and you will be, having peace of mind. So whatever it is that you're worried about, or that has been a lot of pressure, there is an energy where the pressure is off and things get more manageable. And also something's going to be sent by the universe that makes you feel like you're supported. Okay, Six of Cups energy also indicates that something from your past enriches your present moment. And I feel a lot of you, it's something that perhaps you are dissecting, processing, and liberating yourself from so that it doesn't control you, okay, and helps you be more open. And a lot of you, this could be how you deal with relationships. It doesn't have to be like, for example, if you were someone when you were younger who was bullied, this could have knocked your confidence and how you interact with people going forward. You have a lot to say. What's on your mind is very important. But if you have been bullied or in some way stifled regarding, you know, some sort of specific incident in your life or a culmination of events, this is you setting yourself free, because those things cannot live rent-free in your head. You're making them pay, or I see a lot of you are like evicting them. And I don't mean that you're going back to make them pay. I'm just talking like metaphorically, that, you know, you're kind of like reimagining the situation, perhaps having the woulda, coulda, shoulda conversations in order to acknowledge that this doesn't have any bearing on your life anymore. And often when people bully you or try to control you, it's because, number one, they're not happy with themselves. They're projecting their energy, but also they see you as a threat. They see you as someone so powerful, so monumentally successful, or someone who is greater than them. People rarely bully people below them. They bully people they feel have the power to be above them. They want to knock them off their perch. So I feel this is about you acknowledging that and setting yourself free. And again, this is not going to resonate with everyone, but that's something that just popped up there, because some of you may have dealt with a person in your past. This doesn't have to be like childhood bullying. This can be people. Can be someone said something to you that has really robbed you of confidence, or someone who perhaps power plays with you in some way, was, you know, abusive, verbally, mentally, physically. You know, I'm sending you a huge hug out there if you've been through something like that, but I feel like you're taking your power back, and this was a big year to really set yourself free. Now that Four Cups is an energy of where you have been disappointed, you shall suddenly meet your expectations. It indicates that life has been a little bit challenging, but the universe is sending you an opportunity here that you will grab with both hands. This is a card of surprise gifts. So some of you may actually receive a surprise gift. We are coming into your birthday season, my beautiful Sagittarians, so I hope you have the most magical time indeed. But this card indicates that you're open for more right now in life, and you shall have it, because this is an outcome energy. Five of Pentacles, this is about you recognizing what you have that other people don't have, that you were made to stand out in some way, and you're not doing it to be like, oh, look at me. It's more that you're taking up more space, acknowledging that you have something to say that's important, but at the same time finding balance, harmony, and being open to more. And there's definitely some sort of new thing happening in your home life that you will celebrate very, very soon. Okay, so I'm just going to go and get some final cards before I close your reading. Any further messages that are coming through? Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Sagittarians? Know that you are safe and protected. Now, you could have got any card in this deck. So I feel a lot of you, you know, the message is the message, and it really kind of aligns with the message that came out in this reading. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm really like excited by the message that's come out there. Now, you could have got any card in the deck. Okay, it says here, you're stepping into your higher divine life path. It says here, it's okay to be different. So don't try so hard to fit in. That's interesting that I just went like that, and that was the message. But it can be that your healing must be complete before you can transform. There's so many different things, like you're going to master your financial reality in the future, material reality. So you could have got any cards, right? Some of them that I opened there actually did resonate with your reading, but I feel these ones really do. And it says here, know that you are safe and protected. You're being guided, you're being protected, and this change is happening for a reason. So I would say, you know, peace of mind, let it be, and acknowledge that living in the present moment is so important. It helps you feel more grounded. In the past, we can't go back to the past. We can have a memory of a past, but it's now an illusion. It doesn't exist anymore. You know, of course it was important and it shaped who you are, but it must not control your present moment or limit you in any shape or form. And of course, the future always makes us worry. We feel overwhelmed in our emotions, like I hope I can get that promotion, or I hope I am financially stable. I hope that this goes my way. I hope that I'm healthy. I hope that everybody's okay. All of those things make us feel anxious. You're being asked right now to come to the present moment, and that's where you find your peace. There's great things to come, and you are protected and supported. Now it says here as well, uproot your life and leave all that is familiar to you. And I feel like you've been doing that for the last year. So there are some changes, as I said, to come, and you're going to love these changes, okay? You may have already been thinking about this or investigating this or, examining options for you. But there's something new here. You have an Ace of Swords. As I said, you have a Four of Cups. The universe is going to support this. And there's a lot of harmony and balance. And you'll look back and go, why didn't I do this sooner? But it wasn't time. Now is the right time. And it says, you miss the beauty when you are stressed. Be gentle with yourself. Be messy sometimes. Let it all go. And I feel this is a big message in this reading as well there for you. Give yourself permission to be messy. Life isn't perfect. We're not perfect. In fact, that's where the beauty lies. So, yeah, I will leave that there. I'm just going to go and get a trinket or a rune before we close. Ooh. So we have the moon. Okay, now the moon can indicate uncertainty. It can indicate hopes and fears. It can also indicate that you're bringing your worries into perspective right now and also leaning more into your dreams to romance your life a little bit more. And all that is hidden shall be revealed to you. I feel like your dreams are going to get wild over the next coming weeks and months there, but utilize your imagination. There is so many good things to come, and you're going to see so many more visions. As I said, your third eye is really opening at this time, and I rarely get messages like that in readings, but it is, and I feel like, there are some unseen opportunities that are going to align with your true self, okay? So I'll leave it there. Thank you so much, my beautiful Sagittarians. I hope something resonates, and love and light.